5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shane Newbert. And just a forewarning here, anybody who's ever watched Shot 30 knows that it's a goofy, silly show. We joke a lot. We have a lot of fun on here. But this episode, maybe it's not going to be as much fun as normal. I'm going to talk about my mental health, like my history with mental health, my history with like depression, and I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that's made me the way I am today. Like when I was a kid being molested, and I mean, just things that broke me and beat me, when I used to be a really suicidal guy. I'm just going to kind of talk about it because I don't know, get around certain times of the year, and I don't know why it resonates so much inside of me, but it like leads me down into that real hard low. And I don't want to feel that low anymore. And every time I talk about this kind of stuff, like I get it off my chest, I just talk to Timmy or talk to a friend about this stuff. It makes me feel so much better. And I said to Timmy the other day, if I don't ever talk about it on the podcast, then I'm just lying to myself, and I'm lying, that's not going to be the real me that's sitting there. So might as well just wear my heart on a sleeve and just tell a story that, man, it's a hard one to tell too. But this is Shot 30 Podcast. I am Shane Newbert. Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, and YouTube if you're just listening on one of the apps. And we've had a lot of great guests, and we got a lot of great guests coming back very soon. It's going to be pretty smooth next few months for Shot 30. Even though they shut everything down, we recorded a lot of episodes prior to the shutdown. Okay, so first of all, I want to say, if this isn't the topic that you want to listen to, absolutely just turn it off. But maybe some people out there struggle with things too that they don't talk about or want to talk about, and that's kind of where I am with this. Up until a couple years ago, I wouldn't talk about any of this type of stuff except for with Timmery, and it was it was pulling nails and pulling teeth to get me to talk about it. But when I was a young guy, when I was in junior high, and I'm not going to throw any names, I'm not going to use any names for this. I don't think at this point I kind of feel like it's pointless. I'm a 29-year-old man talking about being a 13-year-old kid. But there was a big name, a guy from where I was from, a big name guy, and I started doing yard work at his house. I'm sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a struggle when I think about it to piece this together, but I'm going to do my absolute best for you guys. But I would do yard work for this guy. And I mean, I'm 12, 13, 6th grade, 7th grade. And one day I remember in particular I remember I was out in the yard and I was just pulling weeds for this guy in the yard. And he came out and he said, and he was a much older man, and he said, hey, I'll give you $50 extra if you do it without a shirt on. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, sure, $50 extra. And that went on for a few months of, hey, shirt off, I'll give you $50 extra. And then it turned into a thing where, I'm in 6th, 7th grade, and he would start touching me. He would fucking touch me. And I just remember the cringe of my body, scared. But also I was making money. I was making money. And so time goes by a little bit, maybe 4 months of that happening. And I was playing football, and I remember that it was after football, and I had something to do at the school, so I needed to take a shower. And that wasn't really a normal thing that kids did, but I had to take a shower. And I remember I got into the shower, And then next thing you know, like all the guys in the locker room are just geeking about it, making jokes that I'm getting in the shower. Like, I can't believe you're actually doing that. And I was like, hey, is there any towels? And they went and told this guy, and he came running into the locker room. This man, and because he couldn't believe I was taking a shower. Like these are red flags that we're all over the place, and everybody. It's a shame, and from where I'm from, that this never comes to, like, people don't say things like this. And I'm not doing the Me Too movement. I'm not out here for nothing other, I don't know. I'm just doing this because for my own mental health. Yeah, for me to feel better and get this away from me. But so that went on for, that was during football. So that following winter time, and it was maybe late. It was late fall. He was saying something. I was 12, 13 years old, and he was saying something about needing some work done at the house, some boxes moved. And I was like, well, shit, I'm not making any money right now. Anyways, I'm not mowing yards. I'm not doing anything. And I remember that I went over there to help him move some stuff. And he's like, it's in the back room. And I was like, oh, okay. But he gave me, like, I just remember that I was drinking this lemonade and I felt like some kind of way. Like, I felt real weird. And I don't know. Maybe it was just some bomb fucking lemonade that made me feel like kind of weak. I don't know. But, and also, I'm remembering stuff from a long time ago. But I walked in the door. And I'm in the back, like, in this kitchen, standing there, and I'm drinking on this lemonade or whatever. And then the door locks. And I just remember hearing that front door lock, like, what the hell? And then he said, hey, in the back room here, you need to go, like, it was, like, through this hall all the way in the back. That's where the boxes were. And it was his bedroom. And I remember just, like, okay. And then the door locks, that door. And I'm just in there, and I'm in there scared shitless, and I don't know what to do. And I just, like, and I remember, like, he had porn on the TV, and I was just frozen. And then he just started touching me and wouldn't stop, and then he started saying stuff like, he said stuff like he had cameras in there and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to leave more. I'm going to leave some of that out of there just because it's not pointless. You guys probably get a pretty good idea. But when he let me leave after, hours, he just filled my pockets full of money, told me to be quiet. And I just remember, like, walking home, and I was just fucking broken, scared, broken. And as I got a little bit older, I still, just being scared, being afraid. I wouldn't tell anybody this. I wouldn't talk about it. People made jokes about this guy all the time being like that. And I would cringe. My gut would turn. Everybody was always making jokes about, like, literally 24/7 about that guy being a creep. And here I am just, like, and then it, like, and my guts just flipped over upside down. And so for years, this guy was such an important person in that area that no one had ever believed me. And I kept going, like, as a 14-year-old, I kept going over there to do yard work, just scared shitless that he would ever tell me to go back in the house. And every time, like, I even have pictures from before, like, at sporting events and stuff where this guy would touch me, and you could just see, like, and I have this thing that I still do now when someone comes up behind me and stands, like, behind me or touches me like that, my whole body tenses up and I, like, quiver. Like, I literally just quiver. And you can talk to a lot of my friends, they know I do it. Even if I know that they're like, I just stop. And it's a tough one. It's a tough one for me to It's a tough one for me to do. Like, I don't know, just think about that. And as I got older, you know, shit, like, there was so many lies on top of lies, especially when it came to stuff like this. I remember there was something going on, and I don't want to get too into detail with these kinds of things because these are, involve specific people, and I don't want to have to, I just don't want there to be anything that pulls people into something that they don't want to be a part of. But I had a girlfriend at the time of this, like, when things were coming out about this guy, and a lot of people were there was a lot of stories and there was a lot of things, and I tried, like, the police came and questioned me, and this guy put $1,500 in my locker at school, $1,500 to not say anything to anybody. And it was, and then my two friends were standing there and they're like, what the fuck? Why'd he do that? And so I gave them each $500 because I was scared that they were going to, I was like, I don't know why he do it. I don't know why he do it. I don't know. But I gave him each $500 to not tell anybody that that he did that. Like, he put that, because I didn't want anything for me. I didn't want anything for me. I was so scared. I was just scared of everybody, scared of what they could do to me. And I always thought that I was the one in trouble. I was the one doing something wrong. And so when this all came out, I remember that I had a girlfriend at the time, and the family was so great. They were all so great. And I couldn't tell them. I couldn't tell them anything. And they were asking me questions, like, and here I am just, like, in my brain and my heart, just like, I just want to tell you the truth. I just want to tell you the truth. I couldn't tell my parents. I couldn't tell them. And I just, man, it just really started, like, compiling on me. I got in, because I told the police that I got $500. Like, I told them that story, and I just told them I didn't know why. I told him I didn't know why. I was just a scared kid. Just a scared kid. And at this point, I'm probably, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. But I was just, 16, I think 16. But I was just scared shitless. I was just a scared kid. And so that went on. And that greatly affected that relationship that I had with that gal. She was absolutely incredible. The family was great. And they thought I was just the biggest scum, a liar, which I'm not saying that I'm the best guy in the world, but, a lot of those things were all compressed around that, like, that issue. And so that started, like, really weighing on me a lot. Like, as I got older, everybody thinks that I had a lot of friends, but I was just friends with people at school. I didn't hang out. I hung out with one kid. I didn't get invited to parties, really, not until I was like 18 or 19. But I didn't get invited to parties. I wasn't invited with the cool kids. And I was always, I hung out with one kid and stayed to myself for the most part. Like, people thought I was this guy because I was always making skits and comedy videos and, like, your YouTube videos. They were stupid, but like, that's what I do. I don't know. But that started taking its toll. I remember around that time was when I was had become super, super suicidal. Like, after me and the ex had broken up, kind of got back together, but it was all a mess at that point now. And with all that stuff weighing on me, this bad guy, he was just gone. He just disappeared, which scared me too. And even though I was a grown-ass adult, when you have something like that happen to you, you look back, like, I don't know what it is that it does to you, but something inside your body just, like, it's just like this freezing moment, like nervousness and scared, because that you were so vulnerable, and then you think about it all the time and you don't stop thinking about it. It's just like, it's a way to take a broken person and just shatter them. And so I remember I got really, really out of control for a little bit in high school, because I was just so depressed that I had broken up with this girlfriend, and I had become the villain, the enemy. I had become this, a monster. I'd become a monster for being not a monster to them per se, but more of a I don't know, maybe even just my vision of myself. But I became super suicidal. Like, I remember just every time I'd go into the bathroom, I'd just stare at myself in the mirror. And I would just stare at myself in the mirror, sometimes for hours. And sometimes I'd take one of my dad's loaded guns, and I would just hold it in my head. I'd just hold it in my head for hours. And then I wouldn't do it. I would put the gun back, and I'd just go about acting like happy old Shane, just putting on my little face all the time. And that took, like, those things all started to take a toll when I was working at, I was powerlifting, and I'd become a very, like, well-renowned powerlifter. And I mean, because like with the steroids and stuff that I would take, or, even just supplements, I mean, it turned me into a nutcase, an emotional nutcase where, I would think about those types of things all the time. Like, the only reason I was a somebody in this world at all was because I was a good power lifter. I didn't feel loved by the people that were around me. I didn't feel loved by the people that, were close to me. It was until I really found out, like, what friends and, like, people who love you were about until me and Timmery were together. Like, I really didn't have an idea. I really had no clue of what it even meant. I had no idea what it meant to have a best friend, for sure. Absolutely, 100%. Not just, just somebody you can talk to, somebody you can, like, that's where, like, I'm going to walk you through, too, with that. Sorry, man, this is a tough one. And I'm actually holding up way better than I thought I would. I thought I'd be riding the struggle bus a little bit more, but I was up all night just thinking about this. I was just, what do I say? How do I go about it? How do I do this in a way that's not like, hey, everybody, I want your pity. I don't want your pity. I want to tell you who I am, why I am the way I am, and maybe if this helps somebody get better too, we can all do this. We all need to vent sometimes, and if and I have to vent to my podcast, like, this is my little, like, it's my little baby. But Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies. Visit Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies and put your Christmas orders in today. It's Black Friday, so, hey, she's got deals for Cyber Monday, I'm pretty sure, of, like, coupons and stuff. Also, Shot 30 Podcast is... visit Mrs. Newbie's on Cakes and Cookies on Facebook and Instagram today. Also, Shot 30 Podcast is taking orders for shirts, koozies, beanies, the hat, and these hats. So we're taking orders for all of those. Just put it on a Shot 30 page or on... Facebook, just message me or Temery. Also, go visit the Bone Collector, Viola, Illinois. The Bone Collector, he was just on the show. His name's Ken Versluis. It is incredible. He is a competitive barbecuer, and now he has a restaurant in Viola, and it is phenomenal. I am telling you, 10 out of 10, absolutely delicious. I just had a smoked mac and cheese, and it made me, if I could get pregnant as a man, I'd have twins in there. But go visit the Bone Collector, Viola, Illinois. Also, last one, Handmade by Haley, coming out of Kewanee, Illinois. Visit Handmade by Haley for your most beautiful handcrafted designs. That she customizes them to say whatever you want for any season. She's absolutely the best, and I love her. She is coming out of Kewanee. That is Handmade by Haley. And so let's roll forward here. I don't even know. Okay, so... now to flash forward, and this is kind of the thing that I really wanted to talk about with all this stuff is, how does this type of stuff in a childhood affect you as you get older? And I mean, looking at it now, I struggle every now and again when I think about things like real bad, or I start to villainize myself for some reason. Like, it's all my fault that I'm not friends with the people from my childhood, or it's all my fault that I, ruined relationships because of a lot of different reasons, not just the being molested as a child and being locked and holding on to lies and things that I just couldn't tell. When I know that so many people would have probably been there for me. But actually, that was the kind of the problem too, is I know so many people would defend that man over me. They wouldn't believe me. Like, there was a lot of, like, I know there's a lot of people, you know, and see, this is like the same thing with my, you know, like my friend Haley. We talked about it. Dude, she has epilepsy. She has seizures. And kids and people are so mean. Like, they would say that she fakes her seizures for attention. She had 400 fucking seizures in a year. And like, but like to hold that weight too, that's something that'll fuck you up. Like, really? I fell down the stairs and started shaking because I wanted some fucking attention? No, if Haley wanted attention, she'd probably just pull out her massive boobs. There, that'll get you your attention, Haley. But it's weird because when me and Haley talked about it, like, that's what people do, man. That's what kids do. That's what people do in that little town that I grew up in. Yeah, so now how does this like affect me as I'm older? Like, the thing is, I can be good. I can be good for a long time. I can go a lot of days, and then boom, it's just like, oh my God. I start thinking about it, and I'll just shut down. It just turns into short conversations with, you know, like with Timmery or anybody that I'm around. Like, it just turns into short conversations. I put on my fake face all the time. That's what me and Timmery call it now. But I go into like a little shell. And you know, as I got older too, the powerlifting and everything like that. After powerlifting was done, I got injured and powerlifting was done for me. I mean, it was like I had nothing. I came home every day a broken guy. I mean, I was sad. I was depressed. I was taking depression medication that was making me more depressed. I'd take handfuls of pills and just hope that I wouldn't wake up. One day I was just such a broken person at this point. This is before I really started to be able to tell like Timmery everything. And you know, she was just dealing with like the most, like, I literally told her at one point, I'm going to kill myself. It's just a matter of time. Like, it's nothing that you've done. I love you so much, but I'm broken. I'm just broken, and there's no reason for me to be here. Hung myself over the lake. The branch broke, and I fell into the lake, and Timmery found me just laying in the water. Like I said, I can't even fucking kill myself. I can't even fucking kill myself. And through a lot of great people, I've been able to get better. Like, I've been able to get a lot better. I got off the meds. I went cold turkey from this medication called Latuda. They were giving me this shit called Latuda for my depression. That shit would make me lay in bed. And I know everybody thinks that I was always just a happy guy. Dude, I was a fucking wreck. Just a stack of all the things that I had been through, and I mean, I was just wearing it all. I couldn't stop thinking about it. But I would lay in bed and I would claw. I would take this medication called Latuda, but I would claw through my sheets all the way down to the mattress. I'd just rip through it. My nails were always bloody. I'd sit there on a wood table and I'd claw all the way. I'd claw a quarter inch of the way through the wood. I would just sit there and shake. I would sit there and shake before I had to go to work at the prison. Like, I mean, I would sit there on the floor just going back and forth. And then I'd get to the prison and, dude, some of those guys were such jerks to me. Like, oh yeah, we were betting whether you were going to use a mental health day today or not. Yeah, like, I mean, and I'm like, why would you do that? What do you mean by that? And it just added on to the stack of all of it. I went to third shift just to rot away, just because I didn't want to see people. I didn't want to be around people. And finally, after that, I started getting a lot better. Me and Timmery really started talking. Like, I just was telling her like everything that was on my chest, on my mind, on my heart. I made a vigilant effort to go out and talk to all these people in my past. I told a lot of people what had happened, and it just started, like, it helped me get better. Just talking about it to so many different people, whether you liked it or not. Some people still called me a liar. Like, some people literally looked me in the face and called me a liar. And maybe that's just something that's so common in the world that people do this and lie. But fuck, if anybody ever told me that, I don't know if I'd do that back. But yeah, there's just a lot of days that man, you just feel like just wasted oxygen. Because you're holding so much in, you're depressed, at this point I'm depressed, suicidal, like, I've got all these ghosts in the closet, like, and I don't know how to, my friends, the people that I loved, my best friend from, like, second grade till 22 years old, won't even answer a phone call to me. Like, and that had to do with my ex, me and my ex splitting up, but I didn't understand a lot of that, and that added to the weight of, like, my depression even more. Like, I can't even have my best friend call me. He refused to call me. He wouldn't even send me a text. Just nothing. And, I've talked to some of my friends now, and some of the great people I have in my life now, and literally getting the weight of these stories off my chest is what makes me feel makes me want to be a better person every day. It makes me feel better. It makes me so happy that I have these types of people in my life that I can do this to. And if there's anybody out there who doesn't have people like this or is looking, there is great people. There's great people. And just getting it off your chest helps times a million. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've done enough here today. Like I said, I didn't drop any names in here. I didn't want anybody to feel weird about using names. But this is Shot 30 Podcast. I am Shay Newbert. I don't feel like I'm depressed anymore. I don't feel like I'm this broken guy anymore. I really truly do. The Shane you see on the podcast, the goofy, happy, silly one, that's me. That's me too. But this is also me. This is also the me. This is the me that I don't really love it. I don't love this one. But I'm learning to get along with it, like, better, because this is a part of me. This is what makes me who I am, and it's a tough part. It's a tough part, And every day I get a little bit better, but it also helps me get a little bit better for other people. I can talk to people about these things. If they've got issues. I mean, here I am. I feel I'm a really happy guy. I'm a really, really happy guy, and I have a lot of fun with life. And I'm only getting better. I'm only pushing towards more dreams and more goals and doing more things. Like, I have a good work ethic now, and I feel like this is just my life. This is Shot 30 Podcast. I'm Shane Newbert. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry that this isn't the normal episode for you, but yeah, we'll have a lot of great guests coming back up after this, but that's it. There it is. And that was way easier than I thought it'd be. Yeah, Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, and on YouTube. Give it a like, share, subscribe, please. If you have an Apple account, just go leave a review. Like, share, subscribe. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, those things only help. So this is Shot 30. Thank you guys for being here. Happy Black Friday and happy holidays moving forward. I hope everybody stays healthy and happy and carefree.